You people have no idea, do you? You have no idea! You spend your lives wrapped in cotton wool. You want to play at being adventurers? Well, this is it.
And these rocks, these caves, ah, man, this is it. I mean, where else can you shine a light where no human's been before, huh? There's nowhere else left on the planet to explore.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh?
If people are going expecting an underground monster, that's not what this film is. The intention was to play it very real, very plausible, and to make it a psychological drama of survival in a unique and exotic environment that most people have never seen.
The 3D survival thriller Sanctum follows a team of cave divers exploring the world's largest cave system in the remote jungles of Papua New Guinea. This film was inspired by a true story.
Why do we cave, Josh?
Well, I don't. Voluntarily?
Nope, wrong answer.
And why do you cave, Carl?
Because...
Let me show you.
Espiritu Sala, the mother of all caves.
Executive producer James Cameron, director of the award-winning blockbusters Avatar and Titanic, along with longtime filmmaking collaborator and diving buddy Andrew White, have produced a film based on Andrew's expedition that trapped him and his team underground after a freak flood. Sanctum reveals the beauty.
Now that's something you don't see every day.
Wonder and fear that comes from exploring underwater caves. Shot on location in real caves and sound stages on the Australian Gold Coast, utilizing the latest Fusion 3D camera system developed for Avatar. Sanctum explores the limits of human survival in a beautiful yet unforgiving environment.
Andrew and I had just finished our most recent expedition in 2005, and afterwards, I said to him, look, the stuff that we're doing is more complicated than making a feature movie. And he had always wanted to make a movie about a cave expedition that went wrong because of his personal experiences. And so we just went for it.
Always felt that that was a fantastic story, not so much the actuality of our story, but what happens when you put a bunch of people from different backgrounds in the most dire of circumstances when, the possible outcome is going to be their untimely demise.
We're looking for a young director, but not necessarily a first-time director. In fact, specifically not a first-timer. We wanted somebody who'd already made their mistakes, and someone who could show us something that they had a vision, that they knew how to achieve it.
I got involved with Sanctum about 2 years ago. That great experience of getting the phone call saying James Cameron wants to see you, and we met and talked about the project, and so they invited me to get involved with the picture. The thing that attracted me about Sanctum with the story was what happens to people under pressure. The people we least expect become heroic, if you like, or the people that we want to become leaders become weak. And I think that's always one of the interesting things about the human condition is how do people respond in different environments. John Garvin, the writer of the screenplay, is a cave diver. And so the screenplay itself was this infused with a real feeling of being in the cave.
Andrew and Jim realised that they wanted to make a cave diving movie, and they were looking around for writers, and I had quite an extensive diving background, so I was able to bring a realism to the screenplay that they were looking for.
And so with my personal experiences and John's ability to translate that into a fictionalised story, we had a great team.
He did it.
Look at that.
Since the beginning of time, no human being has ever seen this.
Look at it. It's like a cathedral.
There's an air bell up there. About 100 feet up. A big air bell.
George, you've got to see this.
There's got to be a whole new cave system up there. I can feel it.
Wow.
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 You want to go up and have a look?
You want to spend 2 hours decompressing? Let's leave something for Carl.
Okay. Right, George, we're winding it up.
The way Sanctum works is that you follow this kid who's got a very strict disciplinarian father.
Those bailout tanks you were supposed to bring down. Judes and I had to climb back up and get them. Jude started the dive heavily fatigued with a couple of hours sleep under her belt. Now maybe that didn't make any difference, but maybe it did. Want to think about that?
When we first meet Frank, he's a little bit off-putting. He's a little bit daunting.
Engage manual mode. No oxygen. Bloody George.
I think Richard Roxburgh is one of the real stars of this country. He's a tremendous actor and very, very talented.
My character's called Frank Maguire, who is a hard man of the underworld. He's a tough expedition leader, as these guys need to be.
Richard has been such a pleasure to work with. Everything he does, he's constantly offering something new and so selfless as an actor, so generous.
Yeah, Rhys Wakefield, I think, is a real emerging star. We'd tested a lot of people for the role, and his test just had a really strong quality of someone that you wanted to go on their journey. And you feel for him, you're very empathetic with him.
The script is just like action-packed and all this skills training, which has been amazing. To be forced to learn how to use a rebreather and scuba diving and rock climbing and trying to finesse all of these things and streamline them to make yourself actually look like you know what you're doing, it's been a lot of fun.
Why is that gear coming up?
Well, there's a big storm building right off the coast. Frank said to haul out whatever gear we're not using.
Oh, he did he?
Hey, Jim, this cave's not gonna beat me.
Well, I play the character of Carl. Carl is a billionaire CEO of his own company, a self-made man, and an adventurer in his own right.
You know, he's sort of a, if you like, a Richard Branson sort of style of character. You know, he's sort of a high-flying entrepreneur.
I mean, our characters have a really sort of combative relationship.
I've given you every piece of equipment you've asked for. Spared no expense.
I guess the cave doesn't understand that, Carl.
Fred!
His character really does transform through the journey, and he's broken, I think, you know, as a man by the end of it.
Yes, they've tried very hard to kill me on this project, but I'm still here to tell the story, yes. What would you do on the mountain?
Camp 4 to surface base. Come in. Jim, do you read me?
There's nothing can be done for the dead at altitude. If I were on the mountain, I'd keep going.
I wanted to get involved based on the character alone, and then, of course, all of the bonus points of it being produced by such a fantastic group of people. Because my character was also a mountain climber, I did a lot of mountain climbing research, particularly looking at women climbers and what sort of things they had to face in terms of the kind of the gender politics of what it means to be a climber out there in the professional kind of climbing world.
Promise me you won't let me fall.
I promise. Just feed it through the rack, slow and steady like I showed you, okay?
Okay, sure. Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
I met her on my Everest expedition.
Great, so she's even crazier than you are.
Yeah, I'm gonna marry her one day.
We did a lot of training to do a lot of the climbing stunts and the kind of abseiling stunts, and I loved those stunts. I mean, there were times when I kept kind of wanting them to do more takes because I just wanted to get up on the rope again and jump off the cliff again.
Yeah! I love that. You totally get used to that.
So on the day of doing the outdoor kind of leaping off the cliff stunt, you know, I jump off the cliff, Josh jumps off the cliff. And then, of course, poor Ioan had to do the base jumping stunt. He's like, I can't let these two Aussie kids jump off a cliff. I've got to do this now.
Yeah, it's the best possible start of the day, really, to be thrown off the edge of the cliff. I'm wide awake now. I was a bit groggy before then. It's all part of the fun, really, of being an actor, that you get to do stuff like this. You know, if I were to do this outside of work, I would have to pay heaps amount of money to be clipped onto a rope and thrown off a cliff, but this way they're paying me to do it, so it's a bit of a bonus.
Well, the jump was something I had to progressively work my way up to, so we would just distance it more and more each time, and I would slowly get it.
That's him. Cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
One, action!
The rig actually takes a lot of it, so it's not too crazy. This little graze, I don't know if you can see that, this was something I actually acquired myself in the rock climbing training, which had to be constantly reapplied just for continuity purposes. So I did that little favour for myself and added a 25-minute extra call time on my makeup time, so. This last bit.
Are you good?
I'm good.
Good.
Good boy.
Look at her. She's teasing.
No, she goes. Here. I can feel it.
No. Virgil scanned that whole section. There's bugger all.
Machine can't feel the cave, George.
Well, Obi-Wan, if you're gonna find a way through, you best do it fast. 2 days, 3 at most. This whole place will be flooded like a block dunny.
Topside will give us plenty of warning.
I played George, who's Frank's best mate and kind of diving buddy.
Dan Wiley's one of the great character actors in Australia, I think, and he's always surprising because he's completely mad.
I'll see you on the other side.
Could have picked a better choice of words.
A lot of this film has been NAR, which is no acting required.
You're physically carrying this thing on your back through caves that have been built so majestically and beautifully by the production designer.
We're divers, underground in a cave. You've run from here to there in a wetsuit with boots on while someone aims a high-pressure hose at your head. Get to there, can you do that? Then say your lines, whatever that may be. My leg hurts. My leg hurts. No acting required.
The fear was real. Really real.
Camera is rolling, here we go. And 3,
Initially, Sanctum, as it was conceived, I was really keen to try and make this film in real locations. And in fact, the initial foray into making the film, we scouted all over the world. We went to Vanuatu, Papua New Guinea, around Australia, to Puerto Rico, to the Yucatan.
It seems to be appealing superficially to let's get in some real caves and do it for real. But you discover very quickly how hard it is to shoot in those environments.
I have been in cave systems in the past. I've built cave systems in the past, but this one was the greatest challenge for many reasons. There was depth and height needed to be really accentuated, and so in one soundstage I went wall to wall, and in another soundstage I went from floor to ceiling.
Nick McCullum did a fantastic job for us with production design. I mean, he is really quite visionary, and he brought on a fantastic team of designers and artists to build the caves. And he very cleverly worked out a way to recycle a lot of our sets to create very new environments.
What we've got here is the large outdoor tank. Most of the pieces came out of Stage 8, which we were using as a labyrinth. And now these big concrete set pieces are being put in the bottom of the tank to be submerged, and that'll become the cave set.
I mean, obviously, if you're going to make a movie in a cave, we'd thought about shooting a lot more second unit than we did in the end. I mean, we couldn't have achieved anything like we'd done if we'd sort of done it 100% in real caves. As we discovered in Gambia in particular, for example, you know, and the water temperature's at about 13 degrees, you can actually only work in the water for about 30 minutes. I'm so happy that we did the second unit stuff at Mount Gambier, because I think the visuals are really quite startling, and people, you know, they're going to see something they've never seen before in their lives, and I think that's going to have a real resonance in our story, because that's kind of, you know, what it's about.
It amazes me. You believe it, and then you see the floorboards when you walk down the scaffolding.
And I was very particular about lots of elements, you know, the specific colour and nature of the stalagmites and stalactites, the sort of way they would sparkle, because, you know, unless you've spent a lot of time underground, you don't really have you can look at a picture, but it doesn't really tell you what the texture is.
So our first day, we're all dressed up like cave divers, and we kind of walked into the studio, and all of us, just our mouths just dropped at how fascinating the sets were. They were incredible.
There's no imagination required. I mean, we've barely done any green screen, which has been nice because you're just really in the space, and especially the big set where I'm doing the rock climb, that was perfect. It was just, you're in it, and it's this massive three-dimensional world that you're just existing in.
I'm a very character-based production designer, but I also like to immerse both the cast and the crew into an entire environment where they can get lost and look at everything.
Once you stand on a set with water everywhere and real rocks, you don't have to imagine anything. It's there in front of you, it's tangible, and it's dangerous.
I keep going up to them and kind of tapping them and trying to work out which bits are real, you know, rock and which bits are painted rock, and you're in this world, you know, there's water everywhere. You can't help but give into it. You can't help but be lost in it.
The cave sets were fantastic, though. I mean, it was pretty much a complete replication of different cave environments with no kind of apparent mercy for the actor.
You know, our characters had to be dragging and lugging all of this gear that's, you know, protecting their lives with them across these, well, unfriendly sets. It's been terribly hard for these guys. Take my hat off to them.
It was obviously this was written by somebody who actually does this. This wasn't somebody's imagination, because it was very real in that sense. It wasn't a sort of a fantastical world that we were entering into. This was something quite raw and quite rugged, and with a great element of real danger.
Sanctum had a very long gestation, and it really started when I made my very first film. In the late 1980s, I was a very avid cave explorer, and there was a big cave system out in the Nullarbor in Western Australia which had great potential to be one of the grand cave systems of the world, an Everest underground, if you will.
Andrew assembled a team of world-class cave explorers. Amongst them, Wes Skiles, a renowned underwater cinematographer who filmed the expedition. Little did Wes know, he was about to capture an event no film crew had witnessed before.
Whilst we were doing the exploration and making the film, we had this freak storm hit the area.
Meteorologists have since identified the event as a freak and rare cyclonic storm. It dumped down nearly 2 years of rain in under 25 minutes. The enormous weight of the floodwater caused the mouth of the cave to collapse.
And it flooded the cave entrance and trapped 15 of us below ground.
This creates an avalanche into the cave. The fleeing film crew managed to capture the fearful event.
Good afternoon, Frank Warwick. 13 people are reported to be buried alive.
Hopes of saving 13 people trapped in a cave collapse on the Nullarbor
A
plain.
massive rescue underway to free 13 trapped cavers.
Surface to chamber, surface to chamber. Are you receiving?
Right, receiving you, Christopher.
G'day, Ron. I'm receiving you. You're a little bit weak. Over.
Everyone's intact. People down here are Liz, Sonia, Rob.
I managed to get out with another companion within about 5 or 6 hours of the collapse, but 13 of the expedition team remained trapped for nearly 2 days.
Andrew had been trapped under a ledge for nearly 5 hours, waiting as the roof of the cave inched closer and closer. Once the avalanche subsided, Andrew decided to risk finding a new way out through this newly formed cave. Once above ground, he was able to lead a rescue effort to free the remaining 13 trapped explorers.
It boggles the imagination to think about the nightmare situation that would be if you were trapped in a cave, in water underground. I mean, it's beyond kind of comprehension. So it's, as an actor, you've just got to use your imagination, I guess.
It's the opposite of something I would want to do as an individual. It's still an elusive psychology to me. I mean, and maybe that's because having not actually done it and not actually gone through a tight squeeze for, a couple of kilometres and come out the other side into something underground. Maybe not having done that, I still don't understand it.
But what's interesting from an acting point of view is that you're representing these characters who have a very strong desire to put themselves inside the earth. And the only way to figure out is what drives them is actually to talk to them. And Andrew White, our producer, is a character that does this for fun.
When I was about 12 or 13 years old, I had a group of friends there, and we would go away on the weekends and we would go crawling around in caves. Well, it wasn't until many years later that I started scuba diving that I was introduced to some people who did cave diving. It was everything that I'd ever experienced rolled into one, the sense of adventure, it was the sense of exploration, it was this sense of freedom, there was the exhilaration of doing something that is a little dangerous.
Saddle up.
Okie dokie. Let's do it.
You with me, Judes?
I'm on your 6, Red Dump Leader.
John Garvin, the writer of the screenplay, is a cave diver, and so the screenplay itself was this infused with a real feeling of being in the cave, and I felt to kind of relate to that as something that I want to experience too.
In order for Alister Grierson to become totally immersed in the story and to understand how cave divers were drawn to exploration, before filming, Andrew taught Alister how to cave dive so he could experience firsthand the sensation of diving in real caves.
On reflection, a wonderful experience. At the time, it's kind of reasonably terrifying. It's because it's pitch black down there, so you turn your torches on and so on, and you swim around, and this very strange experience starts to happen because the clarity of the water is really quite astonishing. It's like, as I'm looking at you now, it is so clear that you almost start to get a sensation of vertigo sometime when you're sort of swimming along and looking down and suddenly going, hang on, I'm not suspended, I must be falling, and then you realise I'm in water. And
they don't derive any pleasure from swimming amongst sort of blue coral. Their adventure and their drive is getting through into that sort of unknown where no other human has been before.
For most people, the thought of being in an underwater cave system is the most frightening thing they can imagine, but the reality of it is underwater caves are the most beautiful, serene places you can imagine. Absolutely silent, very dark, just the sound of your own breathing down there. Believe it or not, most cave divers cave dive to relax. They're not crazy.
You can stay at the same depth as me, or your blood's going to fizz up like a dropped can of beer.
Nice. Green light's good, red light's bad. I'll monitor your PPO too.
Dad, I get it. Okay?
I needed to learn some sort of advanced diving skills, which are basically revolved around acquainting myself with this rebreather thing that cave divers use.
Only one of the acting ensemble had ever scuba dived, so everyone was trained from scratch.
it's really quite complex what they had to do, because it wasn't just simple sort of scuba stuff we're asking them to do. They all learnt rebreather training, which is it's a much more complex way to dive.
Mask off!
Frank, don't do it. We're going to lose you both.
This is a Sentinel rebreather. These are the rebreathers that we use in Sanctum. It's a fully closed-circuit electronic mixed gas rebreather.
Rebreathing is based on the concept of actually, as the word implies, rebreathing your own breaths.
Instead of scuba, where they usually will breathe into a regulator and all the air escapes, what happens with the rebreather is, as soon as Rhys breathes into this mouthpiece, his breath is directed into a mushroom valve, which sends his exhale breath down this hose here.
When we breathe normally, we don't need all the oxygen that we breathe in. We breathe out, most of the stuff we breathe in.
His exhale breath travels down into the scrubber or stack.
What you breathe out, the carbon dioxide that you breathe out, is converted through a filtration process, and then it comes back again as air.
The pure oxygen tank here, which injects a tiny little burst of oxygen every few seconds, which is just the oxygen that the actor is metabolizing. And once the oxygen has been added here, it's then rebreathed up through this hose and into the diver's lungs again.
The great thing about it is it means that you can breathe for hours and hours and hours, whereas with scuba diving, you've got until the tank runs out.
And it was great to get trained up by John Garvin, who's kind of a dive god. That one-on-one experience with a guy with such depth of knowledge, and not to forget that he wrote the script.
My air is on. Tastes good, no fluctuations. I have 240 bar. I also have a backup excellent air source for you, just simply pull that out if you need it.
So we've all kind of done a lot of training in pools and specific skills that we need to achieve in the tanks, kind of pushing our gear around and working our way through holes.
This is starting to get sporting.
The rebreather's stuck. My hose is caught. I'm wedged. Frank, I'm wedged. It's
Dudes,
stuck.
stay cool.
Deep and slow, dudes. You do kind of 3 to 4 hours of it on just kind of being on the oxygen and with heavy gear, and it does take it out of you a bit.
Ioan's performing something called a pre-breathe on the rebreather. This is done before every dive on the rebreather. Basically, what he's doing is checking that the rebreather is working properly by recycling his breath around the whole system. It's one of the rare times that you actually see an actor who's not able to talk.
The water tank's been awesome. I find it this kind of really calming thing about being underwater, and a lot of breath holds, which I've been doing lately for kind of the opening shot of the film, where Josh is just there and just existing, as if he's kind of given up to the cave. And we shot that last night, and I found that really therapeutic in a way. It was kind of like meditating underwater. So, I don't know, I started to feel like some creature.
Great, your mother will be thrilled.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
I don't think anybody or anything can prepare you for doing something like Sanctum.
Richard Roxburgh, he's been a massive fan of this film. He's been sitting under waterfalls and getting colds every day and hurting his fingers, climbing up and down rocks and things like that.
Or you're, in a tight restriction, 8 meters under the water, trying to lift a, 60 kilogram rebreathing thing towards the camera for a few hours. Nothing can really prepare you for that eventuality.
Stop. Listen.
What the hell was that?
We better keep moving.
At its heart, it's about their struggle to survive. Now, there are other layers to that, and probably the most interesting one is a story of the rite of passage.
I was also very careful to make sure that the screenplay is fundamentally a father and son story. It's about a young man learning lessons from his father and from the environment of the cave to become a man at the end.
So what do we do now?
I don't know. I'm tired. Need to rest.
What are you talking about? We have to go back. We will find another way out. What's wrong with you?
You remind me of me.
Sanctum is a story that I've always personally wanted to tell, which is a father-son relationship story. Because I've done a lot of different relationship stories, but never done that one. So that was my excitement around being attracted to this story. And of course, the diving and the 3D and all that. I think the cameras on Sanctum are literally a couple of the same cameras that we used on Avatar. I think they've changed the letters, so it's now, A and B camera. It used to be C and E camera, but, they're the same cameras.
I think Jim's interest in this project was about how to show people that 3D wasn't just about huge studio pictures, that you could make an independent film that was driven by drama, where the 3D enhanced the storytelling aspects of the film.
As we knew instinctively that the cave environment and 3D would go together, like peas and carrots.
When we look at something, right eye sees one side of the image, left eye sees the other side of the image, brain fuses them together. So there's two images, they have to come together.
And the glasses make sure that the left eye only sees its image, and that the right eye only sees its image.
Now, bad 3D is two images set apart, so far apart that when we see them on the screen, physically your eyes have to bring the images together, and then it hurts your eyes and your brain hurts trying to fuse the image to see what's actually there.
Bad 3D is 3D that draws attention to itself. I believe if a filmmaker is constantly sort of popping you in the forehead with a tennis ball, then you're constantly aware of the fact that you're sitting in a movie theater, wearing glasses, and experiencing an illusion, as opposed to inviting the audience to step through a window into a world, into an alternate reality, and not constantly reminding people that they're sitting in a movie theater. Then you have that willing suspension of disbelief. You have that beautiful amnesia that takes place where you forget who you are, you forget where you are, and you become those people in that situation.
One of the early things that we discussed with Andrew and Jim was the tone of the movie, and it was always going to be very much about the conflict between the cotton wool world that we live in on the surface, where we take everything for granted, and how that is stripped away in a heartbeat in any kind of survival situation. So it was really following and tracking the characters of how they adapt to going from the normal, comfortable world to an inner hell where they have to fight for survival.
Yeah! Hold on, guys!
Our producer, Andrew White, is a very experienced cave diver, and there's a DVD.
The film Nullarbor Dreaming documented the dramatic events of a cave diving expedition that inspired the movie Sanctum. After a freak storm collapsed the exit of the cave, the members of the expedition were trapped underground. The expedition's cameraman, Wes Skiles, was able to document their entrapment.
What you're looking at here is a mass of rock lying atop of the path we used to walk. Some 2, 3, maybe even 4 meters at points of rock is on top of our equipment that used to lie here. This huge boulder takes up the whole frame of the camera. Was not there yesterday.
Above ground, after successfully finding a new way out of the cave, Andrew White is leading a determined rescue to free the trapped divers. After a 48-hour ordeal, each of the 13-member expedition team make it out alive. 23 years later, Andrew has written and produced a feature film inspired by the events that occurred on the Nullarbor.
We were checking out this cave on the Nullarbor we'd found. Now, there's nothing out there as far as the eye can see. Just this bloody great big hole at the arse end of nowhere. So, Frank backs the truck up to the edge of it so we can tie off the guideline. Right?
Right.
So, we do the dive, we're swimming back out, and suddenly there's a vehicle blocking the entrance. 60 feet underwater. I'm thinking, that license plate looks familiar. He'd gone and left the handbrake off and pulled his truck back into the cave with us. We had to smash open the back window just so we could swim out. Then, the poor bastard had to walk 20 miles of desert. 20 miles just to go get some help. He's a hell of a fella, your old man, once you get to know him.
I couldn't dive before this job. I couldn't abseil. I couldn't hang off a rope and be blasted with water. I've done so many things physically on this job that I have never done before in my life. That has been amazing.
You're diving with a rebreather on your back, and it's the real deal. You're underwater, which is, a life or death scenario. You're wandering through caves that have been built to look like caves and if you were to fall, you would injure yourself.
I mean, a lot of the acting is really done in the training and the stuff that you're doing, especially when it comes to the rock climbing, and you've got water pelting on your face and this big explosion of water underneath you.
It's like a lot of things that I've done in my career as an actor. When you're in those circumstances, it's actually very freeing because you're not worried about, oh, is this going to look real or not? You're just doing it. And it frees you up then to just get on with the acting part of it.
Well, Sanctum has a fair element of the action-adventure movie about it, but I'd also like to think that it works on a different level altogether, that the audience will give some thought to maybe how they'd react in a survival situation and what choices they would have made if they were in the same situation as Josh, Frank, Carl and Victoria.
So fascinating, that whole kind of human against themselves idea that happens in this film that I love. There's no kind of crazy monsters or aliens.
Man, we're so close. No, that's just teasing us.
Oh, don't take it personally. We're here now. That's the main thing. So what do we do? Do we stay here or do we push on? You decide.
Yeah, what is it that changes someone from, you know, childlike behaviour to having to make real decisions as an adult and then having to live by the consequences of those decisions?
Maybe we missed something. One of those tunnels back there.
No. We follow the river. All the way to the ocean.
The biggest challenge, I think, of the picture was, it was a really physically challenging film.
Because you are sort of pounded on a daily basis by nature or the elements that surround making a movie of this nature.
You're not going to go and do it yourself, are you? You're not going to go and go, oh, I'm going to go cave diving now, see what that's about. You're going to go, I'm just going to watch a movie about it because that'll be safer and I can just, yeah.
And I can kind of understand it, exploring another world and just breaking the boundaries of humanity.
And that's when your heart rate is going to go up and your breathing is going to get short. And that's when, you know, your knuckles are going to get white, and that's what this film will do to you when you watch it.
Really, when you boil it all down, you strip everything away, who you are and how you behave and the decisions you make ultimately determine the course of your life. And that, to me, if that sort of message can come through once you've watched Sanctum, then I'll be thrilled.
In the final squeeze climbing out, I can just pass you this and you can turn it and point it around back at me. Yeah, no problem. It's good to be out. Unbelievable. Welcome aboard. Thanks. Thanks for pulling me up.
You're a thief, you know that? Oh, here we go. All right, ready? Ready? Yeah.
So what else is new, Luco?
Hey, Vic. No flirting with the hired help.
Oh, yun pala. Yun pala, Ulaman. Skinzindan natin. Hurry up.
Under there she goes.
But she don't. Oh, you know she does, Josh. All the way to the sea. Or I'm wasting a hell of a lot of money just for your old man to get his kicks.
Vic, it's time to meet the other woman in my life.
I think I get it now.
Focus the dive. Focus the dive.
Here's that Forbes magazine piece I told you about.
Oh, great. What does it say? Is it good?
Yeah. Delvinet's Maverick CEO, 36-year-old Carl Hurley, says although his dive of the Asala cave system will set world records for both depth and length, accolades don't interest him. I treat any expedition like I treat my business. Second best simply doesn't enter my mind.
Well, damn straight.
Carl has recently been seen with international beauty, Victoria Elaine.
Does not say that.
Yeah, it does too. Not really. So guess what they're calling your cave?
What?
Carl's Bad Cavern.
What? Get out of here. Oh, no.
You
Give me
look
that
good, huh?
thing. Give me
Great.
that. Let me see that. Give me that thing. No way. You can cut right there, thanks. No, give me that.
I mean, get
Right there. Come here. Mercy.
Carl's Bad Cavern. That's pretty funny.
This fella place in Tambu. Now me place belong big man.
This is to appease the cave spirits.
When I got good pala ting can go inside, now me pala ask him, long was long.
Only those of pure spirit may enter.
That's you fucked then.
Get out of here. We ask you to watch over them.
Hey, George. What's up, dog? Good to see you, bud. How you doing? Huh?
Yeah. Hey, where's JD and Liz?
Recovering a body. Jude's is dead.
What now?
What would you do? On a mountain?
There's nothing can be done for the dead at altitude. If I were on the mountain, I'd keep going.
Frank. Come on. We gotta go. Wake up. Come on. We gotta go. Now. What about this one, Frank? He seems to lead up. We've been climbing for 6 hours now. We must be close to the surface, huh?
We're about 30 feet from the surface. Unless you brought dynamite, it doesn't help us much, does it?
Joshua, it's time to go.
We home yet?
Nearly.
What? It sinks my hair.
Well, be more careful.